Church, today the topic is waiting. Was that tough to wait? That was just about 10 seconds. You know, I have a hard time waiting. Even that thought of doing it on the video was hard. But I am a very impatient person. How about you? I think as Americans, we're even more prone to be frustrated as we wait. I mean, we invented this microwave because we couldn't even stand the thought of waiting around reheating our food. We made Insta coffee, right? Coffee in an instant because we can't even wait for it to perk. Just a couple examples of us. Now we're consumed by getting news right away on our phones or on our watches. We have to get the news right now or communicate right away. And I recently was struck by the thought of how impatient I am. You know, at Winco, you get your food and your all your groceries, and you got your cart, and you're looking around at which line's going to be the best one. And then you're frustrated when you pick the wrong one. At least that's the way I am. Same thing in, the Costco gas line or waiting at the bank. Maybe you're like me in that. But I will wait for hours for an In-N-Out burger. That doesn't make sense. Perhaps we are willing to wait for what's worth it to us, right? We're waiting in line at Disneyland, for instance, just for a simple, silly ride. But oh my goodness, we can't even wait for the kettle to warm up to heat our oatmeal. Can we wait for God to do his work? Can we wait for the right spouse? What about this COVID thing? Is it driving you nuts? It's driving me nuts. God asks us to wait sometimes. Waiting is an essential part of being a believer, I believe, and it's a discipline that we need to have. Well, and certainly just as an adult, we don't expect our kids to be very patient, but we teach them that because it's something that they should grow into. In James chapter 5, gives us a great example of this thought of patience. They said, "Be patient. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crops, and how patient he is with the autumn and spring rains." And he says to us, "Be patient and stand firm." There's a story in the book of 2nd Chronicles and into Ezra, and it talks about the temple and how these old priests would be reminded of what the temple looked like before it was destroyed, and so they wondered if ever there would be a time when the temple would be rebuilt, and so they waited. So the temple was destroyed, and then for years and years they waited, and king after king, and finally being exiled to a faraway land. They wondered if this ever would happen. And finally a new king came about in this land that they were exiled in. And he said, "I'm going to build a temple back in Jerusalem." And it took 50 years of waiting. And it says in the book of Esther that they laid the foundation to this new temple. And it says the people who remembered the old temple sang songs of praise and thanksgiving to the Lord. And they said, "For the Lord is good and his love endures forever." But it says these old priests and the Levites who had remembered the old temple, it says they wept out loud. It says further that no one could distinguish the sounds of those who were shouting for joy from those shouts of weeping. Wow. Folks, for us, sometimes we like it and we're okay with waiting. Maybe it's something that's worth it, and sometimes we just don't like it. But the thought is that we need to be patient, Christian. Even during these rough times, stand firm and be patient. because God's got this. He will see us through. It's a beautiful promise for us today. So as you come to him in your prayer time today, thank him for just helping you walk through these times, and stand firm and be patient. Thanks, church. We'll talk to you soon.